whatever gets in drinks the water.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting situation. There is a fair amount of hunting in Australia simply because of the fact that there's a lot of animals we want to get rid of.
Yes.
Um, and
Yes.
well, let's be honest, kangaroos really have appreciated farmers because farmers produced a lot more water holes, and kangaroos have taken advantage of it. I mean, the lovely little wallabies and things like that, not so lucky. But the big kangaroos, eastern greys, um, red kangaroos, things like that, they're really thriving.
Yeah.
Uh, somebody, forget who it was. Somebody was commenting the other day that they've got they live in Canberra, the national capital of Australia. And they said, "Oh, there are kangaroos all over the lawn because Canberra is one of those beautifully planned, spread out cities with lots of green parks and everything." And the kangaroos just think, "Wow, it's a smorgasbord. We've got all this wonderful stuff to eat."
Yeah.
Oh,
Bede,
well.
take a look at them, as we say in German, Morgenstern, Morning Star.
Oh yes, yeah. These are really problematic weapons. That they clearly were used,
Yes.
but I can't work out how you would ever feel safe using one, particularly if there's a group of people, because the guy behind you or the guy next to you, he's going to be in serious danger when you start winding up one of these things to hit somebody. I
This is
mean,
a good example, Bede. Look at it. It has all
it's a
its
very
spikes.
well made one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really well made.
Yeah.
The chain looks exceptionally strong.
Strong. Yeah.
Uh, and the handle is long enough that you can hold it and it doesn't hit you in the hand, which
Yeah.
is very important with this kind of weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good example of one. As I say, I'm sure on horseback used underarm against infantry, they
Yeah.
would have been very effective.
Very
I
effective. Absolutely.
mm,
Absolutely. And a nice
yeah.
Warhammer. Look at that one, Bede.
Oh yeah. Again, the ones where they kind of recurve the spike
Yes.
because uh, I think
We
that they
saw some
found
of
that
them, Bede. Do you remember?
the one with the really long spike.
Yeah, do you remember
I
that?
think,
Yeah.
yeah, these ones they're as much warhammers as they are walking sticks.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and therefore the having the spike fully extended is probably dangerous to the user as well because you're holding it and walking with it. But the hammer is still super effective.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be particularly long; it can be quite short like that. But when you hit somebody with it, the impact, particularly on a walking stick size handle, that handle, without a scale, I don't know how long it is. It looks a bit short. Um, but if you hit somebody with that with a full swing, and bear in mind they could be wearing a good steel helmet with padding and suspension and everything, it's still going to
Yeah,
cause
yeah.
concussion.
Absolutely. There's no doubt. Look at
And
the
you know,
shield. It reminds me of also of Persian steel shields.
very much so. I mean, there were Italian shields called the Rotella.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure
Yes,
that
Rotella. Yes.
look like Persian shields, but they have a extended thing where
Yes.
they've got the
Absolutely.
elbow band and the hand grip
Yes.
a long distance apart. Whereas Persian shields, you could put your hand. I mean, there were so many different ways to hold a Persian shield
Yes.
because it was designed for multiple uses.
Yes.
This one, it's got. Looking at the riveting, I'd say it's got two straps held by two rivets top and
Yeah.
two rivets top, two rivets at the bottom, so that you held it there and it was kind of flat on the arm. You didn't have
Yeah.
a lot of um, uh, flexibility, but that was common in Italy, and it shows how sophisticated
Yeah.
they must have been in the Ukraine to have those. Those maces look fairly serious.
Yeah. Very huge. Let me see if I have a picture of them. Let me see. Look at them.
Wow. I mean, I'm assuming that the mace head is hollow because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be able to carry it around.
No, you
But
wouldn't. For sure.
that's a steel handle,
Yeah.
steel mace head.
Yeah.
That would have tremendous force when you hit somebody with
Still.
it.
Still. I mean, people
Yeah.
always say, oh, it's hollow, it's not effective. It's not true, guys. Of course it is, right?
Yeah, because hollow is relative. If it's a quarter of an inch thick, that's a lot of metal. And
Absolutely.
by making it hollow and bigger for the same weight, it may have advantages when you're using it. See, we think in terms of a small mace head, like that earlier one that was with the
Yes.
arrowheads, which is for hitting really hard and concentrating the force into a small area.
Yes.
But sometimes you want to spread the force out more.
Yes.
Maybe it's easier on your hand when you're hitting.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
I only have one mace and it's purely ceremonial.
And look at this
Nice.
one, Pete. Look at the sword. The sword is also, this one is also very nice.
Oh yeah, this is classic Western European style.
Yeah.
But as I said, all through the Western Balkans, like in Serbia and places like that, they were using standard Western European equipment.
Yes.
Uh, well into after the Ottoman conquest. So this stuff was moving up
Yes.
into the area of Ukraine from the southwest, moving down from Poland and moving west from the Czech states and Bohemia and all these places, because
Yes.
all these places had sophisticated Western style arms and armor.
Yes.
And you know, if you saw that in Europe, it wouldn't stand out at all. In Western
Yes.
Europe, I mean.
And they call it a Baltic axe, right?
Oh yeah, that would see again. This is an axe that is designed to hit people wearing armor,
Yes.
probably male,
Yes.
often thick padding,
Yes.
but it's designed to concentrate all the force in a small area, and it's
Yes.
strongly reinforced.
Yes.
And look at how strong the socket is.
Yes. Absolutely. And look at our friends on the right. Do
Yes,
you remember?
we've got everything. Yeah, that's the really long. That would have been. That is so
This
long.
one, we had a similar one, but it had only two spikes left. This one has all the spikes. Look. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Could you imagine? See, that is so long, the chain is, that you could use it and swing it at the legs of a man in full armor. It would wrap around his legs and you could just jerk it and jerk him off his
You
feet.
know, I think we talked about it last time. When I was standing in front of these, we talked about it as which weapons
Mm.
are effective, but could also be male jewelry. But when I was looking at them, I have to admit I didn't like them because there is, I cannot explain it to you, but we talked about it, right? There is
Yeah,
something
yeah.
so brutal about them, right?
And sinister. I mean,
Yeah, sinister is the best adjective. Sinister. There is nothing
the
you can just identify with, right?
you could imagine, some uh, uh you know, 180 centimeter guy with shoulders broader than you are tall, swinging one of these. He'd be in real trouble. I like the halberd. That's a really classic halberd.
Yeah, very nice. That one is nice. Exactly.
Yeah, in England they call halberds that look like that bills,
Yeah,
because they descend not from axes but from bill hooks,
yeah,
and it's really effective.
yes,
Forging quite straightforward,
yes.
but brutal.
Brutal. Yes.
Maybe not as brutal as the other things, but still brutal.
And B,
This
do you remember this one? You see that what I'm
had
pointing
the
at?
flail.
We had this flail without spikes. One of them we saw in Ukraine. This one has spikes everywhere. Look at this one.
This is I think in a lot of the late medieval fighting manuals and early Renaissance ones, they show you fighting techniques
Yeah.
with these. These are more practical, I think, than the chain and the ball ones,
Yes. And
because
do
you
you
know where
remember,
it's going to
Pete?
go.
We saw a similar one, but it had reinforced with steel
Yes,
bars.
yes, steel strips. Yeah, yeah.
And look at
I think
this
that.
one. Look at this one. Spikes everywhere. Look.
Yeah, that would have been extremely
I have
nice.
to say, I know they're all weapons, I know, but this one and the other one on in our extreme right, they look so
Mhm.
brutal. I cannot explain this. This is
Yeah, yeah. No, I understand. A plain flail without spikes, which is still a very effective weapon, doesn't have that level of I don't know, brutality is probably the
yeah,
right word
yeah,
for that.
exactly.
Whereas the say the halberd or the spear, they're very serious weapons,
Yes, they
but
are.
they have some degree of elegance to them.
Yes.
Uh, and
Pete, look.
yeah, that the axe is beautiful, isn't it?
Yes. Look at
But
these.
the spikes. Oh yeah, that really looks nasty. Both of them. You notice they've offset the spikes so that the two holes don't intersect
Yeah.
when you're putting spikes in this way and that way.
Yeah.
They're kind of apart so that this one goes there and that one goes under it.
Yes.
It's all good engineering.
Yeah.
But you've got to think in the other sense that a lot of these were developed from tools. Well, not the Morningstar type one, but the flail is developed from an agricultural
Yes.
tool,
Yes. It's
and they've
agriculture.
just upgraded it by extending the metal strips and putting the spikes on. But even without the spikes, it's really effective. I mentioned in one of our earlier talks, I had a friend who did Chinese martial arts, and they considered this to be a weapon you could teach relatively easily, but it was
Yes.
devastating, and it didn't have the danger to the user that other types of jointed weapons do have. Even nunchaku because the you're holding that part and the other part comes down to there. If you make a mistake, you can bash yourself on the hand,
Yes. Yes.
which is not a good thing. This one you can't.
No.
The middle one you can't hit yourself on the hand. The one with the chain and the ball, maybe you might hit yourself on the hand because the handle is long enough to stop that, but you could hit yourself on the back of the head when you were swinging.
But the right one, when I look at it, is like this. It's a clear message to every fighter. You think you have a good, effective armor? Let us find out. That's the message it's
Oh
sending.
yeah. That is
God,
so true. That is so true.
you think you have a good armor? Yeah,
It's like
really.
something out of Lord of the Rings, really.
Yes, absolutely. Like Lord of the Rings. Actually, those guys who make movies, can use that one of the characters use such a brutal
Oh
tool.
yeah, yeah. This is great for movies. I mean, this is a thing that strikes me is there's a lot more opportunities for crazy stuff in movies. I remember when I was working for one of the Robin Hood movies, and I was sending pictures of this kind of stuff to the director saying, you could try some of these. I'm not sure, after actually working on a movie set, I'm not sure that safety reasons, even one of these made out of foam could be dangerous. Oh, are we going to good looking mail?
Look at the
Oh, look
mail
at
and
that.
the rivets.
That's beautifully done, isn't it?
Beautiful.
It's very dense too.
Very dense.
And these are round wire rings rather than flattened wire rings.
Yes. Round.
I, I don't know how to express this properly, but look at how precise the flattened area where the rivet goes through.
Yeah.
It's not kind of expanded too far or anything. It's really precise.
Yeah.
Some of the kind of look of that, I think, is from people wearing the armor for 100 years or so before it was put
Yeah.
in an arsenal, where the rings actually polish themselves down and get rid of the rough edges.
Yeah.
But they're very precise, really nicely
Very
made.
nice.
And that wire is thick.
Yeah. Thick wire.
Yeah, yeah.
Very thick wire. Very nice.
That's good work.
Okay, Bede. Remember we talked about this?
Yes.
Yes. Here you go.
Yeah, this is where we've gone off into fantasy land. It just goes to prove that when armor was still really being used, people were doing crazy stuff.
Yes.
This is not an effective way to make a scale armor, but it looks really good. And
It
if
does.
the armor wasn't your main defense wasn't the main thing, that maybe part of wearing this armor, I mean, it's got defensive capabilities,
Mm.
but part of wearing the armor is to show off,
Yeah.
to frighten your enemies.
Yeah.
One of the things that frightens your enemies when you show you're so rich you can afford the best quality of everything. And then they're
Yes.
worried that you've got the best quality sword
It
and the
is like
best
a
quality hand.
solid piece of steel, but then they made these engravings on it, right?
So I don't know, is it embossed or are they actual separate pieces that have been riveted onto a background? The ones on the shoulders, look, you can see under them. So I think they're separate pieces riveted onto a background.
Oh, okay.
But the background may be a metal. There may be a regular armor in thinner metal underneath that it's riveted to. It could be just leather, but it's very shaped,
Yeah,
suggests to me that underneath there is a solid piece of metal,
yeah, it
and then
is.
these have been riveted to it.
Let me see.
Um,
Look at the
Look at
legs.
that. Yeah, that's amazing. And each scale has got a little cross on it,
Yes,
just
of
to make sure
course.
you know which side they're on. So I'm guessing this was from Poland,
Yeah,
because the
yeah, it
Poles were
is.
experts at doing this kind of
Indeed,
stuff.
it is Polish. I remember it clearly. Polish.
Yeah, yeah. We don't give enough credit to the Poles for their artistic um, expression in armor design. I mean, you go to your straight wing hussar, which is very efficient, but they're also really beautiful arms. And this, which is in the Sarmatian style, I would
Yes,
suggest, it's kind of really over the top. This is Baroque in its
yes, it is.
decorative effect. But still, they wanted a real armor out of it, so they worked out a way of doing it.
Yes,
I'm not quite sure
absolutely.
how they did it, but
Look at
as I
this.
say,
Look at this
I
piece.
mean, when you read Polish novels, as I say, well, I'm familiar with Henryk Sienkiewicz, the 19th century Polish historical novelist, and you get the impression that the Polish noblemen were so aware of the impact they were making on their friends and their enemies. This wasn't unconsciousness. This was directed. We are going to show them what we know about stuff. And they had a kind of dual personality. They were wanted to be really good at Western style stuff, and they wanted to be really good at Oriental style stuff. So you might have completely different armors and swords for the different styles, and you'd learn to fence with straight swords, with
Yeah,
sabers, shabla. You would have this complete education
yes.
in weapons, and at the same time, you probably learnt Latin and you could recite Roman philosophers because they were just that full on.
Yeah. Look at this.
Yeah, it's an amazing piece of gear. I could
Impressive.
imagine the average modern cosplayer, if they got a hold of the design for this, these would be really popular.
Very nice. Really nice armor. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Oh, this on the other hand looks it's it's model to some extent on clothing.
Yeah.
If you look at the kind of vertical twisted rope patterns on the breastplate and that,
Yeah.
but it's fully functional.
Fully. Yes.
Um, the shoulder guards with the upturned um, flanges, which catch blades coming up
Yes.
towards your neck. And bear in mind, the person wearing this would have one of the best protected necks you could imagine,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
still didn't want things coming in from the side with too much force.
Yes. It's very
And the
nice.
fluting, which is so decorative, also strengthened the armor in the sense of
Very nice.
making the plates more rigid.
Yes.
So yeah,
Look
that
at the legs and everything, hand protection, leg, everything, everywhere is protected.
yeah, and it's so like the hand protection is like mittens, which means
Yes.
less chance of breaking your fingers if you get hit in the hand. Um, the foot shape, the sabaton shape, is based on say what a 15th or 16th century shoe that had that uh cow's mouth or something like that they called it. Um,
Wait, look at the mitten. The system reminds me. Do you remember we saw from Mainz Archaeological Museum of Mainz the Sasanian mittens made of
yeah,
iron? The
yeah,
same,
there's a lot of similarity there.
yeah,
I think because that's the way you solve that problem.
yeah,
I think there's only maybe three ways that you can make a mitten really effective, and this is it. But the thing is, that by using the fluting, you get that effect of fingers, even though there's no fingers.
oh yeah, yeah. Very good point. Yeah,
It's so stylish
yeah, very.
and probably truly effective. I There's foreshortening in the shots of the legs because of the camera lens in phones and things like that. They're more wide angles, so things that are further away looks much smaller than they really are. So the legs would be much better proportioned than that. Though I must say, it's a fact that in aristocratic societies, men tended to ride more than they walked, and therefore their legs, while being very strong, are often very thin in the calves, the lower part of the leg.
Yes, Yes.
Um,
It has an
it's a
effect.
classic thing. If you see World War I cavalry boots, you had trouble getting your arm into them, much less your leg, because rich people, didn't walk anywhere.
Look at the shoulder
Oh,
protection. Very nice, huh?
yeah, isn't that well made?
Very nice.
Yeah, this is the thing. The armor makers in Western Europe and into Central Europe and into Eastern Europe um, were real artists, because you had to know so much about anatomy and how the body moved
Yeah,
to design the armors and then
absolutely.
to make them look attractive. Is that a lance on the left?
Yes, please. It's a lance for these. What did they do in Europe? Oh God,
Oh, tournaments.
tournaments. Exactly. It's not for
Yeah,
fighting on the battlefield. Tournaments. Exactly.
yeah, and some chamfrons for the
Yes.
protecting the horse's face.
Hmm.
And then is that Tartar armor on the
Yes,
left?
it is. Yes.
Yeah, because the helmet has got that nice
Yes.
Tartar shape that
Yes.
you see.
Beautiful, huh?
So I think some of the traditions in Tartar armor
Mm.
go back to the Cumans
Yes.
before the Mongol invasion. They Other effects are because of the continuous interchange between
Yes.
Iran and Central Asia and the steppes,
Absolutely.
because they trade just went on forever. They
Yes.
just loved it, and the same with Anatolia, because the
Mm.
Ottomans definitely exported a lot of things. So what's that? Naruch Itiachi. No, can't speak. It's a nice Bazaband, though, isn't it?
Very nice puzzle. Very,
I've only ever handled one with deep fluting in it, and it was so beautifully made.
very beautiful.
Yeah.
A very nice puzzle band indeed.
Yeah, that would give you a lot of protection. Oh, we've got European swords.
Yes, huge ones. Really huge ones, this was, but
Yeah,
beautiful.
one with a rounded tip, which they classically call an executioner's sword, though I don't know if it
Yes.
really was, but it probably was.
Yes, that's what they
A
call.
lot of people got their heads cut off, so
I mean, every sword would do that, right?
Yeah, well, this is it. You don't need a special sword for it.
That's what I
Um,
always ask myself because I always ask, okay, human body is so weak. We don't have any fur. We don't have any, we are not like turtles. We don't have no protection, right? Or the thick skin as rhinos do. Whatever, right? It's very, exposed without armor. I mean, we are very weak. And why do you need a
yeah,
special type of sword? Any sword would do that, right?
I think the reason is um, to formalize the process of execution. And in one sense, to say the executioner is not like a knight with his fighting sword, he's a lower class person.
Yeah.
So therefore, he doesn't have a tip on his sword. Oh, this is kind of anthropological um, imagination, has nothing to do with reality, I don't think. Uh, but on the other hand, generally speaking, a point isn't important on a sword that's mainly used for cutting.
Yeah, of course.
And very long two-handed swords like this, stabbing is definitely possible,
It
but
is.
cutting is the main reason that
It's
they're
the main.
built.
Yes.
And notice the central really big one has very nice flooring as well.
Yeah,
Um,
very nice.
yeah,
Very
this
nice.
this is good quality stuff. Oh, barrels.
Yeah. Um,
Uh, are these kind of like hand cannon kind of
yes.
really early firearms?
Yes. Hand cannons.
The barrels seem exceptionally well made though.
Very well made.
Um, but the one at the top looks as though it had a pole stuck in the bottom of it, and you
Yes.
fired it like that. I've seen, I think, one of the Hungarian firearms experts on YouTube firing some of these with a degree of accuracy I found supernatural. So I don't know how you. I mean, I'm used to a bow and arrow. I find it very difficult uh, to aim something with a bow and arrow. The foresight is your bow hand, and the backside is your head, because
Yeah.
you're holding the arrow in a fixed position all the time. But when you've got something you're holding out in front of you like that, that doesn't have any sights, because none of these would have. Oh, actually, number two from the bottom appears to have sights. So it may have been out of a musket.
Ah, it does. Yes, it does. I saw
Yeah.
it.
But the top two one don't. And or I don't know. Oh no, that's the touch hole. So
No, that's a touch hole.
they're
Yes.
facing from right to left.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I assume he just waited till people got really close. And getting shot with one of those, even with poor quality powder, probably made a hole in you about that big.
Yeah.
So you you'd shoot one guy and the guy next to him and say, "I'm just not going to keep going." This is a nice Calcan.
Yeah.
The steel boss in the center is exceptionally nicely decorated.
A
The whole thing
very
is high
similar items, Bede. I'm sure you've seen that. We talked about it possibly here.
Yeah,
Is in Kremlin Museum. No, we didn't talk about Kremlin, but we will. But a very
yeah,
similar one is
yeah.
in Kremlin Museum in Moscow.
These when people captured them from the Ottomans,
Mhm.
they were considered so decorative that everybody wanted to take one home and hang it on their wall.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost at a Persian carpet level of design
Yeah, yeah, it is.
with
No
the
doubt.
with the. So that's really good. They were effective. I mean, they were clearly not effective against firearms, though the central part, that steel boss covers a wooden, like a round wooden block that may have had some defense against firearms. You notice this shield is rotated 90 degrees.
Yeah.
So the hand grip is right at the top.
Yes.
Then you've got the double hand grip in the center.
Yeah.
And then you've got a elbow grip at the
Yeah.
very bottom. And
Yeah.
the two bosses on the sides
Yeah.
are, in fact, for the strap that you
Yeah.
hold the shield on with when you're wearing it.
Yes.
So this has got the complete set of supports. So behind each flower
Mhm.
is a little rod with a ring on the end, and that ring is attached to a handle of some sort. Really, I find these shields. I've only seen a few real ones up close,
Mhm.
and I think they're exceptionally beautiful objects. And the thing that gets me is these could have been made. I mean, the central boss would have been made by a proper blacksmith, but the rest of it could have been done in a village.
In a village. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they'd be really expensive for us to make, and I know people are making them in Poland and other places because they're interested. But at the time, they were probably fairly disposable, even though to us and to their contemporary enemies, they were works of art. They were probably just, oh yeah, we've got thousands of those. Don't worry about it. The other thing,
Yes.
that's in really good condition too,
Yes.
which is always nice to see. So now we're on to swords.
Yeah.
Um, they're kind of the grip in the center top one with the eagle beak and everything is clearly um, Western European,
Yeah.
but the crossguard is either Turkish or Persian or
Yeah.
Tartar. Now I don't know about the blade. Uh, it seems to have a T-section back, which
Yeah.
suggests Turkish.
Yeah.
The one below it, I've seen things like that in books from the Kremlin,
Yes. Let me see.
captured
Oh no,
or
we don't have more pictures. Well,
uh, you can see on the right hand picture the really big yeoman on
yeah.
the sword. That I assume that's the sword on the left of the left hand picture,
Yes.
and you can see that's a strong blade,
Yeah.
and it's nicely decorated with gold inlay and everything like that.
Yes.
Oh, that's probably the one on the bottom and the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So effective sword blades, but very decorative.
Very.
Mm.
You got the
And
maces.
lots of maces. And a little hammer on the extreme right of
Mhm.
the center picture.
Yes.
But those maces, again, these maces are more rank symbols for people to hold up and say, go that way, rather than something to get into a fight with. Though you could, but they're really um, officers distinguishing. Before they had uniforms and stripes and things, carrying a mace was a good way of showing you were the officer. They're really well made.
Yeah. There are very good maces there.
Yeah,
Very good maces.
really attractive.
Mhm.
But then again, if it's for important officers in the army,
Yeah.
they're going to want to have something that looks very good.
Now
Oh
we can
yeah,
see them better. Look at this one. Look at them
these
flange
are
mace, and look at this one. It has stones on it.
yeah. Yeah. You're not going to hit anyone with that. You're just going to show it to people, and they
Yeah.
think, "Oh, there's about 500 guys behind him. We better be very careful." Uh, but the
But there
decorative
is a
quality, because
use
this
for
is
these stones because once you hit someone, if it the stone gets stuck in his skull, he can, if he survives, he can take it out, sell it, right, and
yeah,
pay for his medical
pay
bill.
for his doctor. Um,
Yeah, of course, it is a rank. I was just joking.
oh yeah, and these are not just carried on the battlefield. I know in Poland, when you at social occasions and that, you often be fully dressed with
Yes,
a saber, and if you were a colonel or something, you'd carry your mace because that
yes.
told the world who you were.
Pete, look at the
That
hammer. This one again
that
doesn't look.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It looks so. Whoa, you know what I mean?
it's very Western European looking for fighting people in full armor.
In full on.
Uh, yeah, this is a tool for extracting. It's like an oyster knife for taking the oyster out of its shell. This is the same thing for knights.
Oh
Oh
God.
dear.
Pete, look.
Yeah, here's somebody showing off his mace.
Yeah,
See, it really is a symbol of power.
yeah.
I mean, we think in people brought up in the British system, you think of the maces of Parliament. So there's giant decorative maces in Parliament to symbolise the power of the Parliament. Well, these are colonels of regiments, and that mace symbolises they have the right to tell everybody what to do.